Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great week. Welcome to another episode of Tell Me About Your Dog, the show with one simple purpose: tell me all about your dog and what makes him special. I'm Sam. I'm a CBT here in Florida. I'm a pet insurance advocate and a lover of all things senior pets. I am so excited to have the lovely and fabulous Connie on the show today. Connie, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
How is your week going?
Amazing.
Awesome. So, Connie is a huge dog lover. She's very involved in the animal rescue world and a huge advocate for nonprofits in the area. So, Connie, tell us a little bit about some of the rescues you work with in the area.
I work with so many rescues, but some of my favorite ones are Stranger Days Animal Rescue in Waimama, Max and Me in right here in Clearwater. I work with Pork Butt Pastures, which is a pig rescue in Plant City. I work with Rescue Garage a lot in Northport, and Four Lucky Dogs, which is near me in Lithia. And I just don't want to forget any of them.
And so many more.
Yes, Love for Paws. That's my strawberries rescue. Love for
Aw,
Paws. Yes.
aw. Connie, what are some of the things that these smaller nonprofits are lacking and how can people help?
The biggest thing they're lacking is funding. People can help by starting to donate to the smaller rescues versus the larger organizations that get so much government funding. And they're huge sponsors that are donating huge amounts of money. And the smaller rescues are getting nothing. And they're really doing a lot of the legwork, a lot of the hard work on a lot of the rescue dogs.
Yeah. And it seems like a lot of the people who work for these smaller nonprofits, they're not looking for people to take over what they do. They want to keep doing what they're doing.
Yep.
They just want
100%.
assistance.
Yes. They just need help,
Hmm.
financial. They need fosters. They need adopters, of course. But mostly it's the funding because they're taking in the dogs that the larger organizations don't, I don't want to say don't want, but they aren't helping, like the dogs with the missing legs or the dogs with heartworm or the dogs that are pregnant. They're passing them off to the rescues, but the rescues really need they're really doing the hard work,
Hmm.
so that's what I'm really trying to advocate for.
Yeah. And what are some of the overhead costs that people don't think about when it comes to rescuing?
Well, definitely the spay and neuter. That's a big one. Heartworm is a big one. Parvo. I know a lot of rescues get parvo puppies in, and that costs thousands and thousands of dollars because they have to get them out of the shelters quickly because parvo spreads so fast. So
Mm.
that's what's that costs the rescues so much money.
Yeah.
Those are some really big ones, big issues.
What about like husbandry and feeding, grooming? What about
All
those
that
kinds of
stuff.
costs?
Yes. Yes. The feed, definitely the grooming. Oh my gosh, some of them come in so bad, like that from the doodles that come in from breeders. They come in with knots, and you have to pretty much shave them all down. It's really
Hmm.
it's pretty horrific.
Yeah. It's time consuming too.
It
And
is.
you have to do it
Mhm.
really carefully, really safely because you don't want to injure the dog or cause any kind of lacerations. And the dogs are, you've seen the behavior. They're very
Yes.
traumatized and very upset.
Yes. And then a lot of the rescues take in the behavioral issue dogs, the ones that will be euthanized, and they'll take them and they'll work with them, and they help them and find the right fit for them.
Absolutely. So, Connie, as a big dog lover, you know what I'm going to say. Tell me about your dog.
Well, I have two very special dogs. Strawberry is the first one. Strawberry, my friend Heath and I went out and trapped in Bartow and brought back to my house. And we both said this dog is completely feral. There's nothing we can do with it. We're just going to take it to PRC, and no one was going to ever adopt this dog ever. We knew that, and so he took it and he took it home, and Strawberry escaped in Odessa for a second time. So he's now in a space that he has no idea where he is. He swam across a mile lake, and went into a subdivision, and I went out there. I came out to Odessa, and he he was spotted by several of the workers, and we I said, if we catch this dog, I will keep this dog. I said that silently to myself. I didn't want anyone to hear me. And probably 5 days later, my friend Heather set a trap, and Strawberry came back after traveling 5 miles, came back to where he originally got out of his car, got trapped, and they called me and said, "You said you would keep this dog." So I've had Strawberry ever since. I hired a trainer, Ernie Webb, who is like the best trainer around here, and he came out and trained Strawberry, and now Strawberry is a farm dog, and he could not be the happiest dog ever.
Oh,
Very weird, but he's happy, and you met
we
him,
like
so
weird.
yes.
How long did it take for Strawberry to start to trust a little bit more, start to be a little less feral, a little more friendly?
A year. It took
Wow.
a year, and now I've had him 2 years, and he would never leave my house ever,
Mhm.
ever. He's just this is his home,
He's
he
done
knows
running
it.
away.
He's done. Yep, he's done, and he walks perfectly on a leash thanks to Ernie.
Aw. And your other dog probably helped a little bit in that process, right?
Pilot, he
Yes.
came later, and I found him, my friend Linda Rex called me and said, "Connie, there's a dog in Waimama on the side of the road. Can you go look at him?" And I'm like, "Ugh, okay." So I got in my car, and I'm on the phone with Linda, and she's telling me exactly where he is. I don't see him. I turn around, and Pilot is laying on the side of the road with his friend, and his friend was hit and killed, but he never left her side. And so we picked up Pilot, and we actually got him to a rescue. That rescue adopted him out, and then they lost their home during the hurricane, so they returned Pilot, and the rescue asked me to please foster him, so I did, and then I'm like, "I can never let this dog go," and he's my buddy. Yep.
Aw, that's so sad. So when they found him, he had been with his friend who had been
Yep.
hit and deceased and didn't leave their side.
Never left her side. Yep,
Oh,
he's such a loyal dog. He was so good, and I was so scared of him, but 2 guys came along and helped me load him in the car, and we loaded her and took him to Blue Pearl.
oh. How did that transition go, having Pilot in the house? Did it take a little bit of time for him to
I did not I
relax?
absolutely said, "No, I'm not gonna adopt this dog," and I swear it was like a month later, and I'm like, "There's no way I can let this dog go."
Oh,
He's perfect.
and him and Strawberry get along great with each
Fine.
other?
Yep, I video them all the time together. Everybody's probably sick of seeing them on my Facebook.
Aw. Well, those are 2 amazing rescue stories. Do you have any other rescue stories of dogs that stand out in your mind?
I do. Actually, I have 2 German Shepherds on, Henry George Road in Keysville, and, I've been trying to get them from the family for a long time. I watched them slowly deteriorate, day after week after month, and, Rescue Rebels is a German Shepherd rescue, and they would always call me and say, "Connie, have you checked on those shepherds?" I'm like, "I'll go check now," and finally one of the days we checked on them and they were at death's door and they
Mhm.
were puppies. So they were probably now 6 months old and you couldn't even, they look like coyotes. You could not recognize them as they had skin issues and covered in fleas and they were eating like garbage and skin and bones. And we begged the people, can we just take them? And they finally said yes, and we took them, and they have turned into the most gorgeous shepherds ever. But with that being said, Rescue Rebels is the rescue I forgot. They must have spent over $10,000 on these dogs.
Wow, to get them back
Yep.
to healthy.
Yes. Yes. And that's why I'm saying if we had brought them to another organization, they probably wouldn't have even tried because they were so far gone.
Mhm. Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of rescues and shelters face the problem where they're so
Yeah,
overwhelmed.
100%. 100%. So my goal is to keep them out of the larger shelters because they are overwhelmed. So I find a rescue or I'll find a home
Mhm.
even, for a dog. And that's my goal actually.
Yeah,
Yes, just
amazing.
keep them out of the shelter.
Yeah, and get them into
Yes.
homes that they'll thrive in.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
like you said, with Pilot and Strawberry, they wouldn't have thrived in a shelter
No.
environment. They would
No.
have declined
Yes.
even
Oh,
more.
Strawberry wouldn't have made it like 5 days. They would have said, "Nope, this dog is," because he was feral. It
Mhm,
would have been impossible for them to adopt him out.
mhm.
So,
Aw. So what are Strawberry's quirks?
he's weird. He no matter how many times I've let him out of his crate to go out, he has to wait for me to walk away and then he'll leave. He acts like he's never met my husband before, even though he's seen him for 2 years now, and he looks at him like he's a complete stranger. Um, he is, um He is, what was the last thing he does? Oh, he won't eat in front of me, so I have to put his food in and
Mm.
then leave, like, and then he eats. He's just a weird dog.
He just doesn't like attention on
Nope,
him.
none at all. But that's typical of a feral dog.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They have
Yes.
to there's some things that they just don't want people around for.
Yes, yes.
That seems to be with horses, cats, dogs
Yep.
that are feral or green. There's some things they're just like, no, this is an absolute no for me.
Uh-huh, yes.
What about Pilot?
Pilot's just he's a goofball. He'll do whatever. He eats whatever he feels like eating, and he's just perfect. He's funny because he's very, barrier reactive, but as soon as someone walks in, he's your best friend.
Aw.
Yes, you know, yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I met him for 4 seconds and
Yes.
was like, okay, this dog needs to warm up to me. I'm in his house. 4 seconds later, he was sitting
He
next to me.
he sat right next to you the whole rest of the day, so
He's great. Well, Connie, thank you so much for everything you do for all the rescues. You advocate for a lot of great organizations and you do so much work within yourself. I can't thank you enough for all you do.
oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. Well, that is all for this episode of Tell Me About Your Dog. Please be sure to follow the show on Spotify and YouTube and follow Tell Me About Your Dog podcast on Instagram, where I would love to hear more topics you want to hear about.